Hello and welcome to episode 483 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now today's episode is very, very special to me personally. I'm joined by the frontman for one of my favourite bands of all time. I'm still pinching myself as I'm recording this to say it out loud because it doesn't seem real. It's that much of a big deal. I'm thrilled to announce that on today's episode, I'm joined by Ken Andrews from the greatest band, Failure. We get to talk deep about the makings of their brand new album, which has just come out, which is the self-titled album. We get to talk all about what it's like to work with Hayley Williams. We get to talk about touring and everything else you get from Mark and Me. And that interview will be coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. But before I hit that play button, let's touch base and talk about my last episode. It only came out just under a week ago and was with Chris Robertson, the frontman from the incredible band Blackstone Cherry. Thank you so much to everyone that listened and took the time to download the episode. The numbers were great, and a massive thanks to the band for sharing it too. I saw loads of new listeners, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to Mark and Me. But today, it's all about Failure. Truly, at this moment in time, my album of the year. It's just stunning. But I want to get straight to it. So here is me and Ken Andrews. So Ken, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Thank you. First of all, let's not avoid the elephant in the room. Happy new release day. It's a big day for you.
Yeah. I think it started streaming last night, and I've been seeing the numbers come in from management and stuff. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. It must always feel quite nervous leading up to a new release day because you've probably recorded the album, had it mixed, mastered, ready to go, and then you have to kind of sit on it waiting to hit that publish button for weeks on end.
Months,
yeah.
It's been done for a while. But this normally it would be just a few weeks, because like most of the records that we've made in the last, since we rebooted, we've just been totally independent.
Yeah.
And putting them out ourselves so we can kind of hit the button when we want. But this time we decided, well, it was kind of more coming from me. I just was really tired of doing the business side of things for the band. It was just sapping my love for doing it, really. And so I talked to the band and said, hey, what do you think about looking for a manager again and seeing if we can offload some of the business side of things to someone else. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So that's what we did. And now we're on, which led to being on a record label and having a publicist. And
does it feel exciting, or does it feel like you lose a slight bit of control? It sounds like you're happy to do that and hand over that control, because if it makes your life a bit easier, then it's always better.
I think, it probably depends on who you're handing the control to.
Yeah.
And we trust the guy that we're working with, Blaze James. No, it feels really good. It feels really good. Although he's working us like a dog.
Calm down, man.
We're playing a lot of shows and doing a ton of press, and but at least it's all the stuff that's like related to the music.
Of course. So what I normally do on this podcast, and I don't want to change it for anybody, is I interview actors, directors, musicians, songwriters, artists, all different people from all different walks of life. But what I'm really interested in from yourself today, Ken, is literally taking it right back to the beginning. So I'm sure there's listeners out there that'd be really intrigued where it all started for you. Did you have a really great album as your first experience to music? Was it something you bought with your own pocket money, or was given to you by a family friend, or someone, close to you. But what was that first album, even if it's terrible and something that you don't always admit? What was that first one that you remember kind of listening to as a kid?
I think the first LP, vinyl LP that I got, because I was born in '67, so vinyl was the vinyl record store was where you got your music
Yeah.
when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. Was the first Cars record.
Oh, nice.
I'd heard a song on the radio. I'd heard the band name. I went into the store. I asked them where the Cars record was, and they pointed me right to it. And I got it, took it home, and was just enamored with it. Eventually, later, years later, when I decided to pick up guitar myself, that was the record that I taught myself how to play.
Oh, I love that. That's the best way to
Um,
learn as well, isn't it? Learn. I did it with Nirvana Nevermind. I was born in '82. I had the cassette and I learnt Polly. There wasn't YouTube, there wasn't tutorials. I just listened and I was like, that sounds like an E and a G and a D and a C. And I was playing it. I was like, oh, my acoustic sounds a bit like Kurt's. I think I can do this. And the next thing I knew, I was like, oh, I'm teaching myself how to play.
yeah. I particularly thought that first Cars record was a good record to also train your ear because there were two guitarists in the band, rhythm guitarist and lead guitarist, and how they orchestrated what parts, who was playing what. That took me a while to unpack and kind of figure out because when you're just first listening, it kind of just sounds like guitar.
Yeah.
Um, but the actual production on that record was pretty ahead of its time with Roy Thomas Baker doing the recording. Um, so yeah, it was a great record to kind of cut your teeth on. That and AC/DC Highway to Hell, learned a lot of songs off
Wow.
that record too. So, just learning the chords, the basic structures, and your basic arrangements for rock songs. Those two records were gave me a good foundation.
It's
So
fucking
that when I
awesome
finally,
foundations with AC/DC. Jesus, like that's the good starting point.
yeah. Well, those were popular records at the time.
Yeah.
In 1980, those records were on the radio, on FM radio. Um, and kids in my junior high were wearing AC/DC shirts. So I didn't have to go too far. But later, in my later teens in high school, I started discovering British post wave, or I don't even know what you call it, like The Cure and
Oh,
Susie and the
yeah.
Banshees.
Awesome.
And that's when I really started to entertain the idea of, you know, I got a 4-track cassette recorder and started cataloging my own riffs. And it just fascinated me that you could have a band with such an extreme sound that was not getting played on the radio. And um, those records became actually more influential in the music that I went on to make than the Cars and AC/DC. Although I still hear some of those in Failure, but they're pretty well submerged.
So what about live music? So I can tell you when I was 14, my parents dropped me off in Wolverhampton, and it was kind of like, don't talk to anyone, don't do drugs, don't speak to any strangers, meet us back here, but go to the gig. And I watched Green Day on their Dookie tour, and it changed my life. I came home and I was like, fuck me, there's three people on stage. It sounded like there was seven. I want to dye my hair, I want to pick up a guitar, and I just want to play music for the rest of my life. And that's obviously led me to where I am today. And I wondered, did you have a great first experience? Surely it wasn't AC/DC as your first gig or anything like that.
The Cars was one of my first concerts.
Oh man.
My brother I also had some prog rock experience because my brother, my younger brother by a couple years, actually helped me learn how to play guitar. He was already a pretty accomplished guitarist when he was like 15 or something. Um, he was really into Rush, so we went and saw Rush together
Oh man.
at the San Diego Sports Arena, and that really opened things up for me. Just in terms of the sheer musicianship and just the celebration of the riff itself, basically, you know. Um,
How do you top that when you
so
see Rush right at the start? Rush were one of my bands I saw probably 10 years ago, and I still now can't think of a band that probably sounded as tight and just a spectacle. I was just blown away. I was like, fuck. Like, I should never bother trying to play guitar. Like, look at these guys.
well, yeah, they're a freak of nature.
Yeah,
Um, saw The Cure a couple times. Um, and yeah, those were like mostly like arenas. I didn't really start going to clubs until I was a little older and had moved up to Los Angeles. And then I saw Nirvana and you know, all the beginnings of the grunge scene was
unbelievable.
coming down and playing like smaller clubs in LA. And then Failure formed in 90 and we started playing some of those same clubs on the east side of Hollywood. And our drummer was like, you know, the college radio station in town, KXLU, they are really into playing, spinning 7-inch records from independent bands. And it doesn't matter if you're on a label, you can just make them yourself. And they're actually pretty cheap to make. It was like 50 cents a copy.
That's
So
wild, isn't it, now?
we
Wow.
made we made a few hundred and mailed them out across the country to just various college radio stations. And we did get some play across the country in a few pockets here and there, but KXLU in our own town in LA, probably because they had some of the DJs there had probably seen us playing around. They knew of us and they decided to several of the DJs there started spinning us regularly. And all of a sudden, our audience of about 30 or 40 fans went to like 300 within like a month or so.
That's
And
unbelievable.
that was kind of the beginning of, and then a few more months went by and labels started coming around, and we eventually signed to Slash Records in 91.
Did you have to
And
convince like your friends and family around you? Because I ask this quite a lot to bands that you've turned around to your parents at a young age and say, "I'm going to be in a band. Like, I just want to go out there and be a musician or make it as a full time musician." I think most parents would shit themselves and be like, "Oh my God, you need to get a real job. Like, this is a tough industry to get into." Or were you the opposite? Were they like, "Yep, we believe in you, son. You go out there, you kick ass."
no, there was in the beginning there was a lot of trepidation, especially because I actually already had a career going. I went to film school and up here in Los Angeles, and I actually had um, a fortunate thing happen where music video I made while I was in college for one of my courses, won the MTV Basement Tapes, which a lot of people don't know what that is, but that was in the late 80s, where MTV would select four unsigned bands and their videos that they had submitted for the show to play once a month. They would have this like hour long show where they would play these four videos and flash a 1-900 number in front of, like, so the whole country would call in and vote on what their favorite video was. And the video I had made for this band, local LA band that I really liked, won. And the main prize, they won some equipment and I don't know what else, but the main prize was regular rotation on MTV for a month,
Jesus, man.
that was a big
The
deal.
value in that is insane.
It was a big deal. They got a record deal out of it.
Yeah.
And I got a music video director career out of it, basically. And I started directing music videos for labels, for major labels, in '89, the year right before I was graduating college, and right through until '91 when Failure signed to Slash Records. So for me, it wasn't nothing versus um, being in an indie rock band. It was already working in the business in my chosen profession and having to leave that and to get into a van and tour the country as an indie rock band.
Was your heart
Uh,
just on being a performer? Did you just want to be the person in front of the camera, not behind it?
I was really torn because I really liked directing, but I liked being in a band better.
Yeah.
I I loved I loved I loved jamming in rehearsal spaces and coming up with songs together in that tight knit group of three people. The amount of time that you're spending being creative is really high, or at least in those early days it was when we weren't doing so much promotion. Um, Whereas directing is kind of like you write the treatment, you come up with a storyboard, and in some ways that's the end of the creativity. And on set, you're basically just managing people and resources, almost like a football coach kind of would be. So to me, the artistic side of it won out on the music side. But my parents were not too happy because they were pretty excited that I was already working as a director in Hollywood.
Yeah, you're doing pretty damn good for like that part of your life. That sounded like I'm to weigh it up a lot. Like, do I want to give this up? Like,
Yeah,
some
I
big
was
recognition.
22,
Yeah.
so it was kind of a big choice to make. But I just kind of figured, you know, I mean, how many times are you going to get the chance to have a record label like believe in you and release your art to the world, you know? Um, that was going to be pretty hard to pass up.
Do you ever get the itch anymore? Do you ever get your camera out and think, oh, I'd love to make a short film or even a feature film or more music videos? Do you ever miss that creativity of just doing what you love?
Well, n not really, because I've I've directed most of the Failure music
Yeah.
videos. Um, and then I also, although I didn't start the Failure documentary, um, I finished it. I took it over and did, you know, 70% of the filming and all of the editing. So, and that took 3 years. I mean, making a feature length anything, whether it's a narrative work or a documentary, is a big, long process.
I feel you're paying for editing. My God, that must have been a hell of a job. Especially when it's your own stuff as well. It's so personal to you.
Yeah, that part was definitely strange. Um, but yeah, it's just I'm used to working in music. You're working on like a 4 to 5 minute timeline,
Mm.
so you can really get into the details um, of a song. But in general, a song isn't going to take you a month. It's going to take you maybe from writing it to finished mix. 2 weeks tops, you
Yeah,
know. Um, a 2 or 3 hour timeline for a film, it it's just a completely different beast. It's you can't really attack it all at once. You have to break it into sections and then refer back, and you're constantly having to watch the whole film to get what the flow is, and there's 3 hours right there, so um it was that was a challenge. I was really hoping it was going to be more like a year, but it turned into 3.
I take it you wouldn't do anything of that scale again.
No, I would never make another documentary about my own band. I would never do that.
Or another band, even if they gave you shitloads of money. Nope, I'm alright, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. That I might do that, but my own band was just it was a little awkward sometimes.
How's it been with the response to the Hayley Williams single? I mean, fucking hell, my whole Instagram was full of it last week, and everyone I know was sending me the links, and I was like, I can't tell you that I'm interviewing him next week. I was like, I better play it cool, but
Mm.
that must have been pretty magical, knowing that she's such a hardcore fan of your work, and then I believe her latest album's probably my favorite album of 5 years. Absolutely incredible musicianship, songwriting, lyrics, everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I really love her new record, and her performance on our song was actually done during the making of her recent record, right at the end. They were just finishing up, and she and were I sent her like I think 4 mixes of the new album because she requested I want to hear the new Failure. Um, and I only had 4 mixes ready to be listened to, and I sent them to her, and she was like, I love the Rising Skyline. I've never heard you guys do a song like that. It's so delicate, and there's so much space. And I just kind of paused and was like, I could hear you singing on that song. Would you be into that? And she kind of paused and she was like, send me the track and I'll take a crack at it.
Wow.
And she did, and she sent it to me, and she just sent me her final take, and it was perfect. I really enjoyed that collaboration.
That whole track is just magical. Everything about it, the production, the guitar tone, her vocal compliments, everything. It's like it's made to be. It's so fucking perfect.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So people will be listening. I've got a big UK listenership, and they will be asking the question how long it'll be until we get you over here. I've seen your tour dates. There's a lot of America, there's a lot of across the pond. Is there any talk or anything we can say at the moment that's not too long until we see you over here?
All I can say is that we're working on it. We're trying to get an agent over there. We're trying to get some anchor dates that we could build an actual feasible tour around. But nothing has been confirmed or booked as of yet. But the desire from management and the band is high.
Yeah,
So we're making the effort. I've been doing a lot of press
yeah.
in Europe.
Hopefully not too
So
long, my friend. I'll keep everything
yeah,
crossed.
yeah. No, I mean, we got to come over on this record. Uh, we can't do, we can't not come. That's
No,
that's my opinion.
this festival's crying out for you. I'm sure it'd be so good. Like, I can just imagine a summer, maybe next year. Get you down here. It'd be fucking unreal.
Mm, yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely.
And how is it playing the new songs live? Obviously, when you record them, it's one thing, but then preparing them to be a live set. introducing them to fans, hoping that they dig it straight away and start singing them back to you, so you don't drop in your kind of dynamic of a live show because people pay and want to come and see the big hits. But also, introducing new music as a musician is exciting for you, isn't it? Because you get to play new stuff again, and it feels exciting with your best friends on stage. Has it been quite a challenge trying to make them work live, or you just do you always make sure you make a conscious effort when you're in the studio that they're not gonna take much of a hit when it gets to the show?
We have unfortunately evolved to a place in the studio where we don't really give any credence to how we're going to play these songs live. I mean, I have a little bit in the back of my head, like this is getting to be too many parts, and they're kind of essential parts, and like it's going to feel too empty if we just when we play it live, and how are we going to do that? Greg is just much more like he doesn't give a shit. He's just, we got to make the best production for this song,
Yeah,
regardless of how many layers. And so it has turned out to be, especially on the last two albums, really. Um, there's always been a few tracks that have been a real challenge to try to um, bring to the stage. Also, I think as time's gone on, we've gotten more interested in like syncopated rhythms
yeah,
and writing vocal parts that after the music has been written that don't really rhythmically line up um, in an easy way. So and not really realizing until after the album's done and then picking up a guitar and going, okay, I want to see how this song sounds on acoustic, and I'll start playing the guitar part and then I go to start singing it and I realize, oh, this is totally syncopated and really difficult to sing and play at the same time. And
should
then
have
I have
thought
to
about
spend like,
this. Yeah.
I should have thought about that. And this record particularly had a number of songs like that, including The Air's on Fire,
Mm.
is a very weird, it's all upbeats on the eighth notes. And we've never had a song like that with that kind of rhythm pattern. And it took me like a couple weeks of rehearsing like an hour a day to just imprint that rhythm into my head so I could get my hands and my voice going at the same time.
You don't make it easy for yourself, do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I feel like in the earlier records, when we were jamming, I made an effort to start singing earlier. Um, and when you're playing and you're writing the vocals at the same time, you're obviously going to be able to do that later. Um, so I think on the next record, if there is one, I'm going to focus on that a little bit more, not create so much of a challenge.
As it's been a few months since the album's been finished and mastered and ready to go, have you already been putting pen to paper, writing more lyrics, writing new riffs, ideas, playing around with song structures in the rehearsal room, or are you just focusing on this album, doing the cycle, doing the press, doing all the work that goes with it, and then thinking, right, what's the next chapter for us?
I mean, riffs, yeah, I'm always cataloging riffs. Because every time I pick up the guitar, I end up playing something that maybe not every time, but maybe every other time I'll stumble upon something that I want to remember. So I'll just whip out my phone
Yeah.
and just record it. Um, that's about the extent though. I haven't really been writing lyrics, just really just been focused on learning how to play the new songs and trying to figure out how to weave them into the set.
And how is it trying to do a set list with your career and back catalogue? Is it really difficult to kind of please the fans and please the band at the same time and keep yourself happy that you've got a good balance of new and old and classics?
It's not that hard, really. I mean, we can see on the streaming services which songs are like the popular songs.
Yeah,
So we have a good mix of those in there. And then we have a mix of the new stuff and maybe a few deeper cuts. Um, but like tomorrow we're playing a half hour set at a festival. So it's kind of
Jesus.
weird because we have like almost 100 songs now,
And what's
and
that, about
we're
7 or 8 songs you got to whittle it down to?
six,
Oh, man.
six songs because our songs tend to be, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Some are over 6 minutes. So
Jesus.
it ends up being six songs for a half hour set.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Well,
It's not a bad
yeah.
problem to have, I suppose, in the great scheme of things.
No, I mean, especially if it's like blazing hot out and you're just sweaty and, sometimes just doing a really short, succinct set is fun.
Do you get nervous still, even after all these years? Do you ever get those butterflies in your stomach where you're like, fuck?
Definitely. And especially in the first few shows of a tour where we're still getting our legs and like still, I mean, we had just a couple nights ago, we played a show and we all started a song and we kind of all came in at the wrong time and played it for about 30 seconds and realized we got to start over.
This is a
So
shit
we
show. We
did.
fucked this up, yeah.
Yes. And we did. And it's kind of nice when you have an audience that's there to see you.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of they give you a lot of room to make mistakes.
It's fun as well. It shows you're human. I went to a Finch show and they had to restart the song twice, and I was like, fair play. Like, you're real people.
Hmm.
At least it's not a backing track, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So what I do, obviously, I'm conscious of time, and you've got a flight to catch, and you've been doing loads of press. What I do on this podcast, and it can be a final question today. Every episode has a different guest, but every guest brings their song that they love as to be played as the final piece of music on the podcast. So what happens is, after we've had this interview of me and you for half an hour, at the end, the outro music will be a song that you pick on the spot. So I was wondering, is there a song that means a lot to you personally? Not obviously by yourself, by someone that really means a lot. That when I ask you the question, what would you love to be as the outro song today? What's the one that kind of
Mm.
comes to your heart or soul or head before any other song? There's usually a reason. It could be a song you listened to yesterday, a song you won at your funeral, a song you met your partner to, whatever it is. But there's usually a reason why a song came before any other.
Can it be a long song?
Someone once picked a 17-minute Yoko Ono B-side, which was nearly as long as the
Okay.
interview. So I was like, fucking hell.
Well, this is not.
And it wasn't even a great
I,
track. Sorry, Yoko, but
another act that was really influential for me just getting into music and listening to guitar on records was Heart, and they were from Seattle too, where I grew up.
yeah,
So, um, I'm talking about those like 70s
yeah.
records. And there's a song that I play for people off of their Dog and Butterfly record. It's the last song on the record called Mistral Wind.
I've never ever heard that song in my life.
Um, they channel like Zeppelin
Oh,
in a
okay, sold.
really, really cool way. It's just an amazing song. And the vocal performance is just crazy good. And every time I play it for people, they're like, I had no idea Hart was did stuff like that. So
I'm going to end up spending my whole weekend now listening to everything by heart.
Well, especially Little Queen and Dog and Butterfly. Those were my two favorite records.
Yeah. Oh man, this is good. Some people bring the obvious and I like the Beatles or Rolling Stones or something, but this is now something I'm not gonna have known. So I'll end up going down this whole rabbit hole and discovering more and more and being like, oh fuck, where have these been all my life?
Oh, also the recording, because that was like right when late 70s when multi-track analog recording was getting so good.
Mm.
And the guitar tones and the drum tones are just real, they really hold up.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. I understand how busy you've been. You've been stretched. It's a lot of work when a new album comes out, but I'm hoping it's not too long until I get to see you, get you a drink, be at a show, and just hear these songs live because it's this album is at the moment, as it stands right now for 2026, my album of the year. It's fucking unbelievable. So you've got six
Thank you so
months for
much.
someone to come along and try and top it, but as long as Hayley Williams doesn't bring out another album this year, you're safe.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there it is. There's my interview with me and Ken Andrews. What a great guy. Failure are a band that will stay in your heart forever. If you haven't listened to their brand new album, it's my album of the year. It's self-titled, it's phenomenal, and it will change your life. So go and invest in it. And as we heard, hopefully it won't be too long until they cross the pond and play some UK shows, which I'm so desperately eager to see. And if you haven't heard the single with Hayley Williams, my God, it will blow your mind. But if you've listened to this interview and you've enjoyed it, as always, guys, please take the time to share it. You've all got a Facebook account or a Twitter or an Instagram or TikTok. If you've got a moment, please hit the share button as always. It will come up on your feed. Before you know it, people are like, oh man, Failure. They hit play, they listen, they might subscribe, and then they're going to listen to Mark and me again and again, just for you, literally sharing an episode. It doesn't cost you anything to do. I don't think I'm asking too much. These episodes will always remain free. So if you can do that for me, it really will go a long way. I also have sponsors of the podcast that I would like to give a shout out to. Firstly, Richer Sounds. If you're in the market for anything to do with audio and visual, some new speakers to listen to a band like Failure, a new TV to watch music videos, whatever you want to get, go on richersounds.com or visit any of their high street stores. And lastly, Vice Press. If you wanted an official licensed print or poster or other merch that they do, it's all over on their website, vicepress.com. And the good news is, if you make a purchase and use the discount code MarkandMe26, you will save yourself 10%. It's a no-brainer. And also, guys, I do have a Patreon account. If you love these episodes and want them to keep on coming, all the money that comes in via Patreon is actually being donated to charity. I think just about a month ago, I did all the year up to date for cancer research, and I think I'm going to pick a local charity, maybe a dog charity coming up. I want to give it all to charity this year. I don't need to put it into a pot to do Mark and Me. I'm still going to go to the festivals. I'm still hosting the site, and I want those people out there to benefit. So if you have got a couple of quid, please do it, and it really will make a massive difference. As always, I want to give a big shout out to the legend that is Emma for making this interview happen. You know who you are and you know how much I love you and am completely in debt with you forever. But I really do never take this for granted and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll be back, guys, in a few days' time with another brand new episode. I've been recording some great interviews behind the scenes. There's so much stuff coming up. And there's a band coming up that I've been waiting for over 5 years to get on the podcast, and it's finally happened. So stay tuned for those updates very soon. But until then, go and listen to the new Failure album. Look after each other. Take care. And I'll speak to you all very soon.
ship was still and waiting. I lay on that mirrored sky, a restless sailor waiting. I close my eyes, said the words of will, for the gentle breathing that moves the sea and make my sails fill. Whisper waves cloud the glass, awake at last like a lover. It rushed around me, talking sweet. Roll over, roll over, roll over. And in my ear it blew his name. It sounds so strange, but I heard it play. Mistral, Mistral.